Hello, my name is Stefan Rathert. I greet you from Kahramanmaraş Sütçü University, Turkey, where I work as an English teacher. At the same time, I am a PhD candidate at Çukurova University, Adana. I will talk about a research paper entitled Writing for Publication as a Tool in Teacher Development. This paper was written by me and Zuhal Okan, a professor at the ELT department at Çukurova University, Adana. The paper appeared in the October 2015 issue of ELT Journal. First of all, I would like to thank Hugh Jarvis, the editor of TESOL Academic, for providing me with the opportunity to present my research paper. The idea to conduct a study on writing for publication came from my own experience as a teacher who dared to write and share the writings with a broader audience. I think it was beneficial for my own personal and professional development, and I was interested in finding out how other ELT teachers would perceive writing for publication. So, let me start with some comments on teacher writing. Teacher writing has been widely recognized as a form of reflection and self-monitoring that help teachers become aware of their knowledge base, skills and attitudes. Writing is a discovery process in which teachers come to question their own teaching practice and develop an insider view of their own classroom practice. Burton distinguishes four kinds of teacher writing. The first form is private writing as personal documentation and reflection in form of journal keeping. In this case, the audience is the teacher herself. Shared writing is when a teacher writes for another teacher, or for example a teacher student for a supervisor. This is also called dialogical journaling. Published non-refereed writing, the third form, informs a teaching community through group journals or email lists or blogs. And then we have the fourth form, published refereed writing. This is the publication of articles in journals or books with public access. So ELT Journal would be an example of this form of teacher writing. I will focus now on the fourth form, writing for publication. First of all, we should make sure that writing for publication is not regarded as a matter of course for teachers, because it requires skills in academic writing and research. It is not regarded as belonging to the core duties of teachers. There's an opinion that says teachers have to teach in the classroom and do not have to step outside the classroom. Teachers also may regard research as potentially parasitical, as researchers are believed to serve their own needs by exploiting the teacher's context. And also, writing for publication is institutionally discouraged because it is a form of teacher participation in issues beyond the classroom, for example, decision-making processes, and this is often unrequested. So, what are the purposes and benefits of writing for publication? Wood and Lieberman identified three learning principles in studies conducted with teacher authors in the National Writing Project. The National Writing Project is a project in the United States where teachers in all subjects and at all grades are introduced in writing and having their writings published. So the three principles are authorship. This means teacher authors perceive themselves as individuals who are able to create and originate ideas to be shared with others. The second principle is authority. The perceived authorship enables teacher authors to gain authority as they perceive own expertise, knowledge and understanding as valuable to be shared with others. The third principle is that of authorization. Journals or projects authorize teachers so that they can take up writing for publication. In other words, journals or projects lend their credibility and reputation to teachers who are engaged in writing for publication. A couple of other studies have revealed further advantages of writing for publication. So, writing for publication enhances enthusiasm in teachers towards teaching. It promotes self-criticism, and it allows teachers to shape teaching philosophies and to align practices with espoused theories by putting own practice into the perspective of research-informed literature. Teacher research also informs research disciplines such as ELT or applied linguistics by providing an insider view of classroom practice. Also, writing for publication empowers teachers to gain authority in the professional community and to take leadership in the institutional context. Finally, writing for publication provides teachers with the student's perspective by highlighting problems students are faced with in learning to compose writings. So, we can assume that all these advantages lead to refining the skill of reflection and indirectly to more effective teaching. For our study, we decided to ask teachers who had published in Humanizing Language Teaching. Humanizing Language Teaching is an internet-based open access journal that aims at giving language teachers a forum to share their ideas. It covers a wide variety of topics and it presents usually lesson ideas, reflection, classroom research, etc. We were interested in getting answers to 3 research questions. How do the teacher authors perceive themselves as authors? What reasons do they report for writing and publishing in Humanizing Language Teaching? And what do they report as the contributions of writing for publication to their own personal and professional development? The participants in our study were 21 classroom-based teachers located in 15 countries who had published in 6 issues of Humanizing Language Teaching in 2013 and 14. We excluded academic teachers and PhD students because we assumed that writing for publication was a professional duty, a part of their professional duty. As data collection tool, we selected 7 questions from a standardized open interview guide developed by Whitney, of course related to writing for publication, and sent emails to the participants. So, let me summarize the results of our study. And I start with the teacher authors' perceptions of themselves as writers. All teacher authors in our study defined themselves as individuals who had something to share with others. They did not see themselves primarily in the role of professional or academic writers. They focused on their identity as teachers who were interested in sharing teaching practice. In doing so, they claimed authority as they had expertise resulting from classroom practice. They also claimed their contributions had relevance for other teachers. One of the participants distinguished teacher writing for publication from academic writing by comparing it with teaching. He said, "I see myself as a communicator more than a writer specifically. I'm a teacher and I conceive writing as teaching through a different medium. When I teach, I try to find the way to reach my students, to guide their learning in the most effective manner. When I write, I intend to do the same, that is, reaching my audience, achieving effectiveness in getting my message across." Asked who they thought the writers of humanizing language teaching are, the participants thought of enthusiastic, open-minded and reflective teachers. Interestingly, 6 participants explicitly named university-based researchers and contributors to humanizing language teaching. In fact, there are university-based scholars who contribute to humanizing language teaching. But this perception might also indicate that the teacher authors in our study claimed authority to contribute to research in ELT and not just to provide solutions to practical problems. Unsurprisingly, most of the participants assumed that the journal's audience consisted predominantly of reflective, innovative and enthusiastic teachers who participated in activities promoting teacher development, such as workshops or conferences. Now, why did the teacher authors write for humanizing language teaching? First of all, there were some personal reasons. Informants said that they wanted to give more visibility to their own work by sharing it with an international readership. From a more functional perspective, for 2 teacher authors publishing in humanizing language teaching was the chance to get assignments completed during MA studies published. According to one informant, writing for publication helped secure a teaching position in his institutional context. So, speaking of the institutional context, the participants reported rare recognition or reward in their schools. So, the character of humanizing language teaching was a further incentive to writing for publication. It was the wide scope of issues of humanizing language teaching, its rather reduced academic standard, and the humanistic stance of the journal. One informant said, although it may not have as wide an influence as other journals in the field, such as ELT Journal, I admired their focus on humanizing our profession. English language teaching and learning is far too focused on testing and assessments. Humanizing language teaching attempts to balance that by looking at the learner holistically. So, from the reasons for writing in humanizing language teaching reported by the informants, we can understand that sharing is a stronger motivational factor than publishing. So, in other words, the teacher authors were not driven by a publish or perish maxim, but they felt the need to inform their professional community. One of the teacher authors thought that writing for publication would become an integral part of teaching. He said, for some people, publishing in humanizing language teaching could be a step towards recognition, so they could be budding writers. But many are classroom teachers who have something to say like me. I think this is very healthy, and I think more and more teachers are seeing writing as a part of their job, not just something for the few. So, let me deal with the perceived significance of writing for publication for the professional development. First of all, the teacher authors reported feelings of deep satisfaction deriving from publication. They related this feeling to the experience of achievement, and this was connected to the perception that publishing gave them the opportunity to have their voices heard by an international community of teachers. Second, writing for publication was considered to have positive effects on the teaching practice, as it helped reflect classroom practice. An informant elaborated upon this point, saying, "It has me made deeper into theory to cite relevant experts on the matters I write about. I strongly believe it is not just about writing descriptively what you do in the classroom, but to reflect on your teaching and find arguments to support what you do and reconsider what does not work. A third contribution of writing for publication was that it was a tool for learning about research and academic writing. And finally, writing for publication led to professional advancement when, for example, a participant reported that he had become an editor of academic articles in the writing center of his university. So, in summary, we can say that the teacher authors perceived writing for publication as a viable strategy in their personal and professional development because it enhanced job satisfaction, it helped question own classroom practice, and opened new professional directions. One participant summarized the outcomes of writing for publication as follows. It has given me far more confidence in my authority as a teacher. Being published is assurance that what I think or what I choose to say has a currency that goes beyond my immediate milieu and is regarded as worth a hearing by my peers. So, let me shortly discuss the results and draw some conclusions. The results of our study indicate that writing for publication is a tool to develop a reflective stance towards professional practice. The teacher authors do not see themselves as academic writers, but emphasize their motivation to share classroom experience, following what Boko has called a teachers teaching teachers model of professional development. The informants in our study also report that writing has empowered them by opening career directions and providing responses to frustrating teaching situations. Most notably, the participants reported that writing for publication gave them a feeling of satisfaction, and this is surely the difference that writing for publication makes compared to other forms of teacher writing. We believe that our study shows the potential of writing for publication as it provides teachers with a higher degree of agency in contrast to transmission-based forms of teacher development, which, by the way, teachers often perceive irrelevant to their own teaching situation. And we hope that our study has revealed the importance of providing teachers with forums where they can share their classroom practice without being overly concerned with academic writing norms. And finally, we hope that teachers who read our study will be encouraged to take up writing for publication for their own personal and professional development. Thank you very much for listening to me.